sorry. Find some room, you know I'm the fitness trainer. I want y'all to just really warm up the body. I know it's kind of chilly in here. So we're gonna do a couple moves. I want you to give me 10 of these. We're gonna put our elbows up. What we're gonna do is slightly bend those knees and turn to the side. We're squeezing our obliques as we do this, okay? Let's go. 1, alternate sides. 2, woo, 3, squeeze everything. 4, smile, that's a part of it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, go ahead and give a high five to the person next to you. Say great job. Say there's more where that came from. Right? All right, guys, so we've heard a lot of great news and things about wealth, generational wealth, but we don't talk a lot about generational health. Exactly. We don't talk enough about it. How can we improve ourselves so that we improve the community around us, improve our future generations, our children? It's so important because without our health, guess what? We can't have wealth. So I want you guys to keep that in mind about how we can create that. So let's talk about building a virtuous cycle. We are all virtuous women, correct? So a virtuous cycle is a positive feedback mechanism. It keeps getting better. It accumulates over time. It's exponential. So the way we do that is by building a strategy to have energy throughout the day. That's our first goal. How many of you guys have energy all day long? Raise your hand. Yes, y'all are doing something I'm not doing, right? Energy all day long is hard to have. So I want you guys to really think about how we can do it. Because let me ask you another question. Are your meetings or things you have to do in the afternoon less important than the ones in the morning? No. The person at 3 p.m. doesn't know about what your day was in the morning when you had the most energy, right? So we have to have that energy throughout the day. It's super important, guys. So let's talk about 3 types of energy that I think is the easiest to focus on. We have personal energy, physical energy, and mental energy. Those are the top 3. Now, what do you guys think I mean by personal energy? You guys can kind of mumble it. Okay, so personal energy is about you, and it encompasses physical and mental, but it also encompasses social and spiritual energy. Imagine if we didn't have energy for God. He won't have energy for us, right? So having energy when it comes to your prayer, when it comes to your praise is really important, especially even in this community. And having energy for your friends, your social life. Right? These are things that we need to have. That's your personal energy, and it's your number 1 source of fuel. Because that's an investment. When you put out to God, it comes back. When you put out to your friends and your community and your tribe, it comes back, right? So you gotta have energy for those things first. So as a result, when you feel your best self, like I said in the beginning, it's powerful because it's cumulative. And if you make these small changes, like everything you're gonna hear me say, a lot of different tips, if you make one small change consistently over time, it's gonna compound and you're gonna grow exponentially in that area. Okay, so don't try to do everything everyone says, oh, if I don't do all of these things, no, try one thing. And then when you get good at that, try another thing, okay? So what does it feel like when you're in a virtuous cycle? It could feel like eating for energy and not to lose weight, right? The foods we're picking is so that we have energy. Even drinking water so that we avoid fatigue, that we stay hydrated, okay? Reducing caffeine and sugar cravings and all those things because we don't want to crash. All those things are fine and dandy until we crash midday, right? So when we think about our food, think about it in a different perspective. Think about it so you can have a virtuous cycle. So let me tell you guys a story. It was the last year of pharmacy school for me, 2021, very recent. So the pandemic had hit, it had just hit where we were in the thick of it. And I was on rotation. In the last year of pharmacy school, what you have to do is go to different hospital sites and just, do different projects. And they stuck me with COVID projects the whole time. But I also saw the number of COVID patients that we were filling with medications that were trial medications just to see if it would work. Those are still drugs, hello? And I was doing so depressed, knowing that yes, they were in good hands, we were there to help if something went wrong, but it just felt kind of unethical, the fact that we didn't know, and it wasn't our fault, right? The whole world, we really didn't know what to do. But my mind just it changed that day. I realized, I said, you know what? We may not know what to do right now. The whole world is up in arms, but we know movement is medicine, right? We've seen people heal from supplements and natural and organic things. Like, we know these things. And look now, whenever we catch COVID at home, we're able to actually heal ourselves with these methods. So that jump-started my journey, and plus, I was home with my mother, who was right there in the audience, and we were eating so good. We were eating so good in the pandemic, so I gained the most weight during that time. I don't know, can you raise your hand if that was you too? Woo! And it was just that abdominal area, I just couldn't do it no more. So that combined with my experience in my education, I was just like, something's gotta change. So that's when, once I graduated pharmacy school, I also got certified as a personal trainer. I wanted to learn more. Yes, you guys can, change your passion, marry your passions at any time, and that's truly what I believe in. And so I just wanted to ask you guys, when you think about these things and you think about your why for fitness, what is your driving force? Is it your kids? Is it yourself? Is it because you're single trying to find a man? Is it for your spouse? What is it? What is your why? So at the time for me, like I mentioned, my driving force was survival. I didn't know, I had caught COVID and I just didn't know how to prevent these things and I was so paranoid. So it's survival. But now that we're back outside, my driving force has changed to generational health. How can I help my future generation by taking care of my body now? Okay, so guys, just really ask yourself, what is that why? What is your driving force? Also ask yourself these questions. Do you think next year, we're entering the last quarter of the year, do you think next year will be easier or harder? Right? When you think about it, it's only you're growing, and everything else around you is growing, and it's not gonna get easier. So you have to think about, how can you have a strategy to make this next year more successful, easier on you? Also, when was the last time you felt consistently on top of everything? I know there's women with energy over there probably do, but a lot of us don't. And we want to get back there, right? Because that's when you perform at your highest level. Then also think about how much of what you do is for yourself versus others. It's so important and crucial that you take care of yourself, that you fill your cup first. Okay, so those are the things I want you to think about. And then when you think about this fitness journey, there is no magic pill. The industry is worth billions of dollars. Why? Because it doesn't work. Hello? Like, there wouldn't be new diets every day, new advertisements for different equipment if it works. It's really catered to you and your needs and what you could realistically stick to. Think about it, you could biohack yourself to death. Know all your blood labs and what to do and not to eat and all your food sensitivities, all those things, but you still have to do the work, right? So I want you guys to really think about, what can I maintain? What can I keep up with? And so when I think about myself, I imagine it a car. I'm driving down the street, life has speed bumps everywhere. There's so many speed bumps on this road. If I have high energy and I'm speeding, I'm going faster, the speed bumps impact is less, right? I don't feel it as much. I don't feel life's trials and tribulations as much because I have energy and I'm operating at my highest level. I'm just cruise control, okay? So I want you guys to think about your body like that. You're a machine and you need to operate at that level. Also, when you want energy and when you need energy, it's probably too late, right? By the time you're in that Starbucks line, you've already plummeted, and it's only 7 a.m. at that time. So I want you guys to realize, when you eat for energy, when you maintain it all day long, you won't need to supplement it as much. So today we want to talk about how to get more time, more energy, more productivity, and a healthier body. Isaiah 40:29 says he gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak, right? And Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. There's a lot of talk about strength in the Bible, about weak versus strong. God wants you to be strong in these three areas: personally, physically, mentally. So this isn't even a question. It has to be done for his kingdom. So now let's talk about physical energy. Now, I really do wish y'all had mics. I want to ask some questions, but who knows LeBron James? Okay, LeBron James, everybody knows LeBron James. So he spends over $1 million a year on his body. Yes, $1 million. Why? Because he sees it as an investment, right? He makes so much money off of that $1 million. And so does his team, and so does his family. It's worth it. So when you think about the ROI of putting time and energy in yourself, then you will actually do the work. Now, who do you think has the harder job? You or LeBron James? As far as energy, what do you think? Everyone's gonna say LeBron, right? We're all gonna say LeBron. Well, you gotta think, he's an athlete. When he's taking care of his body, not only is he taking care of himself with that those millions of dollars, everyone else is also taking care of him. Do you have that? Okay then, your job may be harder. Your job may be more physical. It requires more, it demands more of you. And then, to take it a step further, when he does something good, wins a game, hits a stat, he gets recognition. Do you always get recognition for the good things that you do? Okay. You do something good at home for your children, for your spouse, you don't always get recognition. But you have to keep going anyway. So you have to worry about you in maintaining that mental space. Also, when you think about being an athlete, what does that mean? Because I just said, you are an athlete. Your life is harder than an athlete. You have to actually train like an athlete. Okay? Your demands are not on the court, but your demands are in the home, in the church, on the job. So when you have time today, I want you guys to take out your phone, write down what are the demands of my life, prioritize them. What do I really have to do in order to take it to the next level? And then once you know those things, then you can match them and pair them with what am I going to do? What things am I going to implement in order to get me there? Because everything I say may not pertain to you. It may not pertain to your demand. But you have to think about for your life what works, okay? It's not one size fits all. So, the way that I like to prepare as an athlete is simple. In my program, One Ladder, there's an app in your Apple phones. It hasn't made it to Android yet. It is an amazing app because you have weekly new workouts, and I am doing the voiceovers, the moves every single week, entirely new. And what I like to coach is the 3-2-1 method. Okay, guys, write this down. 3-2-1 method in my training. So we're talking about working out. That means 3 days of strength training, 2 days of conditioning, and 1 day of mobility. All so important. So what I mean by strength training does not mean you have to go to a gym, you're lifting barbells, doing kettlebells, cleans. That's not what it means. All you need is a set of free weights of dumbbells that you can get from Amazon, Target, Walmart, and resistance bands. Even if it was just resistance bands and body weight, I'm happy. That's still strength training, guys. And so when you clock in for at least 30 minutes every single day doing those things, you will see the results. Now, the 2 days of conditioning, I usually do 1 day of cardio, so you guys can write this down as well. The 1 day of cardio, I do interval sprints. Okay? I'm a HIIT person, I love high intensity. You know, if you have to work your way up there, that's fine, but these sprints can be done at any speed, obviously. Whatever sprinting is to you, if you're outside on the pavement, if you're doing jump rope, if you're on a treadmill. Keep that treadmill running, and you jump on for 30 seconds, and then you jump off for 30. 10 times. That's it. That's the 1 day of conditioning. The other day of conditioning, you can just do really light weights, 2.5, 5 pounds, and just get your heart rate up. Do a lot of hit, jumping jacks, exercises like that. All of this we can find in my program, but this is my method, this is my secret. And then when you hit the mobility, man, it's a game changer. You need to want to prevent injury, and you want to recover fast, right? So you can show up the next day. I know a lot of you guys stop training because it's like, I'm sore. I can't even go to the gym for 3 days. I can't lift my arm, right? So that's a major issue, and the way you avoid that is by stretching, by doing mobility. And especially with hips, a lot of us, you train so much, it tightens and it really, especially athletes. So they have to use that mobility. And when I stretch, it's still very, very special the way I stretch. Does anybody know what kind of stretching you need to do before workout versus after? Thank you. Yes, and after static. So dynamic just means movement in the stretch, right? So maybe you're going from something hamstring, and then you're going to something quad, and you're moving the entire way. If you just do a static stretch, like just hold your quads like this, you will have injury. You know, it's not as safe as starting dynamic. So what I would say is your routine should look like you show up to the gym or to your garage, the place where you're working out, you got your dumbbells, and you warm up. On the treadmill you walk and you plan your workout. That's another thing, you don't plan. When you fail to plan, okay, so I need you guys to plan, and this way you're not embarrassed in the gym. You know, like, what am I gonna do looking around trying to copy somebody else? You're on your treadmill, for all they know, you're scrolling through Instagram. You're trying to see what you're gonna do. Then you get off, you dynamic stretch, boom, boom, you find your little spot, and then you get to work. 30 minutes, you cool down, and you do your static stretch. Hold, and you go. Okay? So there should be no intimidation about the gym. Okay? Now, let's talk about core. Core I incorporate every day. Core is often incorporated in every move, to be honest with you. Everything we do incorporates that, so that's why you have to have a strong core, because without that, you have back pain, right? So let's focus on just kind of building that core. The core doesn't need to be anything crazy that I just don't want to see sit-ups and crunches all the time, please. I know I'm tired of seeing it. I want to see you guys do core stabilization, really working underneath that top layer. All right, so now let's talk about what we all came here for. Let's talk about diet really fast before I have to go. How do you lose weight? If I want to lose weight, I'm going to be in the tiniest calorie deficit. Okay? And I'm a girl that I'm not trying to lose weight, so I eat at maintenance now, which is 2,400 calories for an active person, for active woman. But if I wanted to lose weight, I'm going to go from like 300 to 500 calories, a little bit less. Now, does that mean you have to stay glued to your label? No. You know that I have oats in the morning, right? You should have your schedule of what you eat, it's roughly what that is. So if you go under a little bit, that can help. So that would be around 1,900 calories. Macros, this is where I shine. I love hitting my macros, talking about macros. Macros, what are they? Protein, healthy fats, carbs. Okay, protein is so important, guys. And how much is always controversial. I personally say either one of these two options. 30 grams at every meal, 1 gram per pound that you weigh, okay? Those are my two options. So if I just forget, I'm gonna have 30 grams at every meal of protein, okay? Next thing I want you guys to write down is I gotta go. Healthy fats, 100 to 150 grams. This is your avocado, your olive oil. Complex carbs, not just carbs, not refined carbs, not bread. I'm talking complex, brown. Anything brown really, right? We're talking about our lentils, our quinoa, our brown rice. Those things are better. But you also can have high carb days and low carb days. And I kind of do half and half. So I'll probably have 4 high carb days, 3 low carb days. Okay? Getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night is so important. So important. Okay? Because I know we didn't have that last night. Y'all was partying all day yesterday. but it's okay. Getting that is really important for your weight loss journey. Managing stress and practicing deep breathing. On that Sunday, which is the day I do mobility, I'll also breathe. Staying organized to avoid stress and increase productivity, limiting screen time. An hour before bed, turn that phone off. I don't care what's happening in the world. And guys, like I mentioned before, I'm running out of time, but if you incorporate one of these small tips, not all, you will be in a better place. I promise you, by next year. By next year, not the end of next year. By January, okay? Thank you guys so much. You can find me on Instagram at dr.robinb.